Bhutala, good afternoon to you all. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. So welcome to class today about sustainable consumption and production. 2018 semester 6 B1 manufacturing and mechatronics. Today is 16 February. So Bhutala, still we are working on the preparing of the background for the subject. Background preparation. Because we have just started only the sustainable consumption and production. So still in the background preparation. Okay? Because that is important for understanding this subject. Because only when you understand, then only you can make use of this subject. Okay? So shall we look into a case study? Okay? So you have to just relax and observe this. Okay? We will look into a case study. And through that, we will connect this to some of important knowledge. Okay? Clean production. Let's say we will take some very simple process, maybe at home. Okay? Rice cooking. Rice cooking at home. Okay? Rice cooking at home. Is it a kind of production? Production. Is there raw material, Bhutala? Are there raw material? Yes. Rice. What? Even energy? Yes. Thermal energy. By means of using maybe electricity or gas or firewood. Okay. So when it comes to firewood, yes, even firewood can be the source of the raw material, source of energy. Yeah. So can be considered as raw material as well. So these are the resources we are using. Resources. Is there a process? Process. Is there a process? Yeah. Okay, you can think very lightly. No need to be very serious, but understanding of course important. Yes. Measure the rice. You have to go with the measurements. After that, use water and rinse or clean. Okay, and after that use water and rinse or clean. Also clean what? Rice. Then wash and clean the cooker or cooking pot. What? Rice cooker or rice cooking pot. So after that, put the rice, add water, then make the fire and put the pot, okay, put the pot, or place the pot, okay, place the pot, or cooker with rice and water on the fire. After that, monitor the cooking and monitor the cooking. Off the fire after the cooking is done. It's a process. Even in big kitchens, of course, there are industrial scale. Also, you may have a similar one once the cooking is done. Then, not finished yet. Okay, not finished yet. Process. So this is maybe item 1. After that, continuation of this. So we make this little small. Process. Then, what is your product? Yes. Boiled rice. Not to say boiled, cooked rice. Cooked rice. This is the product. Okay. So any other byproducts? Yes, in earlier times there can be. Okay. Earlier times even there can be. Like when you use the good quality rice, even there can be rice porridge. Porridge like, okay, porridge. Porridge like. Draining, okay, in earlier days. This is very nutritious. Very nutritious. If this rice happen to be organic and with lot of fiber, this is very good. So this is a byproduct. Can there be waste? If yes, if carbonizing happens, okay, at the bottom, this is a waste. So there can be some during the rice washing, dropping or drop of little rice grains possible. Even during the measurements, rice, during the measuring of rice, still a little waste can possible. Waste water possible. Waste energy possible. So you have resources, you have process, you have product. Sometimes there can be byproducts and there can be waste. Yeah, there can be waste as well. And how important this is. In every house, at least once a day, almost every day, throughout the year, in millions of houses, this rice cooking takes place. Okay? Anything to tell? So you can say this. Okay? You can say this. So this is an approach for the initial learning of this. So this case you can see, if you're looking into a slide, let's say this is your rice process. This is very, very important. This rice cooking process. Very nice. So process. So you have inputs. You feel this is very simple because this knowledge is not new to you. You have inputs. Inputs, raw material, and energy. Okay? And you have your products. I draw this way. Okay? So you have products. Products. This can be rice. And there is a waste. There is a waste. There is a waste. You have waste of energy. You have waste of rice. Okay. Waste of energy and waste of rice. Okay. Third slide. Good. Even later I can email you this. Okay. So in industries, this product, of course, goes for consumption. Okay, goes for consumption. In industries, this goes out. Okay, but in our case, this one, we are not sending out for the other consumers. We do consumption. Okay, so rice cooking process, then we go for consumption, rice consumption. At home. Okay. At home. Now, this is your in. Okay, this is your in. You consume this. Okay, you consume this. What is output? What is output? Yes, in and out. See, products. We have products, but in consumption process, what is out? What is out? Consumption at home. Consumption. So in return, what is the output? Yes, do you have an answer? Health, well-being. Okay, and then your immunity. Okay, energy to perform. Okay, let's say just energy. Perform, to work. So these are the outputs. So this is about the rice cooking. Not this rice, nasi goreng and all. Occasionally okay, but these days please don't take those because this nasi goreng, we call it nasi goreng here. Okay, rice, whatever, is not good for health, not good for immunity. It has a lot of, how to say, toxins, and it is negative. And especially these days, Corona time, you should not take that rice, fried rice, cooked and all. Even they are using chemicals. Okay, so this is the standard rice cooking method. So this is your output. So when you consume, yes, when you consume, the nature is wonderful. So it is not talking about health and well-being, but it's talking about badagin, the hunger. So hunger means it's a signal you are receiving. Okay, it's a signal you are receiving and you are taking food. But yes, fulfilling hunger means you are receiving good health, your well-being, your immunity, your energy to perform things, study and all. Okay, so that's what it is. So that is the product output. Actually, you can write papers, even publications about this, because this is $1 million. This is a million home issue. Okay, and again you have waste. See, waste, because we are taking every day till end of life. So we have waste here. I would waste only energy rice. Even water is a waste. Waste energy. There can be energy also. We may not sure, but energy, water. See, rice. Rice means leftover. Ngani through karne. Vadipura rice cooker ekhi. Leftovers. OXS. Water. Wash the hands. Wash the plates before taking and after taking. Yes, water. So this can be wasted. Energy. If your water is being pumped using a water pump, so there can be energy waste as well indirectly. Okay, so rice, water, and energy. So a consumption model. And if we further look into this, okay, inputs, raw material and energy. Raw material is rice, water mainly, pots, etc. And energy. You can see this is only for rice, no vegetables. Yes. So we start from, so this process starts from the dough step. You brought in rice. So bringing in rice from where the origin is, it's a different story. Now rice cooking process at home. So this is the situation. So you imagine here in this rice cooking process, if you are thinking of, these are the lessons. Managing resources and energy. If you are thinking of this, because this is every day throughout the year, every houses and all individuals using this, managing resources and energy. Saves rice, saves water, saves energy. Okay, means minimize waste. And extra making of rice. Also, it's a waste. Yes. So, this resource management, efficient use of resources, managing resources and energy, efficient use is very important. Okay, is very important. Managing resources. Even when you go to industry, okay, even when you go to industry, you have to manage the resources over there. Like in your home, you cannot waste material energy there. Okay. So this is very interesting. So, lesson still goes on. Okay. So managing resources. Yeah. Our simple domestic issue. Managing resources and energy. Efficient use. Saves rice, water, energy. Even in our canteen, you can see daily wastes. Okay, in houses, there may be more. That's why in your plate, you should not leave even a single bit of rice, single grain of rice. We should not throw out. Okay, so managing resources, and also the other thing is, when it comes to consumption, what consumption? Responsible consumption. These are in the syllabus. Okay. Responsible consumption. If you think of health, well-being and all. Responsible consumption. Actually, sometimes we take extra portions. So that's okay, you can have. But when your consumption is irresponsible, health, you have issues. Yeah. Obesity, rising of sugar levels, early getting of this, some sicknesses like non-communicable diseases like diabetes, blood sugar and all. So that's why. So responsible consumption again saves rice, water and energy because we take extra. Sri Lanka, we take extra. That is for sure. We take nearly, our portion is, we are used to take portions nearly double of what we need. Yeah, portions, nearly double, maybe some. So that's why. So responsible consumption all comes into place. Okay. So here, so responsible consumption and responsible production also. Managing resources. Okay. So you imagine at our homes, we are running with limited budgets. Same like companies. Okay, limited budgets. Okay, same like companies. So, irresponsible consumption. Yes. Makes the budget heavier. Makes the budget heavier. Okay, so this is the issue. The problem is unnecessary heavier, that's why. Unnecessary heavier. If you save water, it's a social responsibility. Save energy, no matter you are paying for this. Limited use, saving energy, responsible usage of energy. It's a responsibility. So consuming has a responsibility. So sustainable consumption is always related to responsible consumption. Even when you reduce waste, when you are in the practice of responsible consumption, your electricity bill, your gas bill, your wood, firewood, the cost, your rice, all the costs will go down. I believe even can go down in even into 20-30% sometimes, because it's not about rice but other veggies and all when it comes to cooking. So don't think that we have the luxury of having water to use as our wish. No such thing. Okay, you have to save water, save energy. No matter you are paying for this. Okay, no matter it's your own water, but it's a responsibility to keep the water, okay, saved. That is very important. Even water in the well, if you use little, your water table, your ecosystem, it helps, okay, and it is a support for your water cycle, for the water cycle as well. So later we will talk about this, okay. So this is about consumption, okay. So what is cleaner production in the sense, okay. So this is a million worth, of course a billion worth concern, this one. Food waste, even in Colombo municipality, food waste are in hundreds of tons. So it is not about you and not about me. This is a national issue. Food waste. Okay. So the question is not about managing waste, but how to reduce the waste, especially the food. Okay. You cannot value food in rupees and cents, even though you are buying it or you are paying for it. Okay, that is very important. So give me a second. I'm going to put some definitions. Okay, I'm going to put some definitions. Okay. Before definitions, His Holiness the Dalai Lama is a Nobel laureate, talked in this way. As we are here today on this earth, we must consider future generations as well. Okay? We are here because of our previous generation. So, previous generation, they considered about our generation, of course, most of the time. So, we must consider future generations as well. It's our one way, it's our responsibility one way, it's our duty one way, it is our moral aspect. Okay? We should not only think of our turn, we should think of the future as well. Actually, if previous generation works on us, if we are working on us and the future, likewise this chain continues. Okay? So, consideration of future generation is something. See the word must. This is very important. This is very important. So if we have no mindset of this, I think it's a huge weakness. Okay, we must think of, consider future generations. What? A clean environment. Talking about, because we happen to talk about the clean environment because environment is getting polluted, getting unlivable day by day. So a clean environment is a human right like any other. So there are human rights. If we must have the free education, health facilities, same way, housing, those are human rights. Every human must have these basics. So how about the environment? We are in this environment. So clean environment is extremely important. Yeah. Otherwise, if air pollution's there, if water pollution's there, if earth pollution's there, if forests are being cut, then the water reservoirs are being polluted. Earth is being poisoned by using chemicals and all as fertilizer, whatever. And all the resources are mined and take out with no control. So we are not thinking about our future generation, and even we are compromising the clean environment. Okay. So it is therefore part of our responsibility towards others, okay, to ensure that world we pass on is as healthy, if not healthier than we found it. So it's part of our responsibility. So we have to pass a more healthier world. So you can realize that this has a connectivity with consumption and production modes. Yes, mainly consumption. See, vehicle emissions. See, driving a vehicle is a one-way consumption. So consumption, consuming or using a vehicle creates emissions. So, which means that we are not asking you and me not to use vehicles, but there should be some responsible usage. How about rice cooking? Yes. You are using energy, electricity, gas. So if we can save some in rice cooking, which means we are keeping these resources intact, or we are saving the resources, so that can be for future generations to use. Even a simple rice cooking your home, okay, there are a lot of energy consumptions in home somehow. It is not about the energy bill, and it is not about only your house. There are millions of houses even in Sri Lanka, okay. So this is about millions. Industry is also the same. So because this case we consider as a production process. So productions are consuming resources and energy. So we should not use those excessively. Okay? So there's a connectivity with this. I hope you can understand this, because this is not a definition, but this is a message from one of the most respected and wise persons living on this earth. You can see some videos about this. His Holiness. Wonderful. This helps to improve your knowledge and wisdom. Very wonderful person. Yes. And a world celebrity as well. So you should look into this. So previous one is not a definition, but it's a very good vision that he sets for the world. About cleaner production, okay. There is a definition, okay, because this United Nations Environmental Program, United Nations. Later I will give some text on this. Environmental Program, UNEP, okay, mention that cleaner production, okay, means okay, because sustainable production so has a connectivity with cleaner production. Here, production process, there are production process and there are products. So process and products, of course, should not pose any risks to humans and environment. So this is the very same wordings. So should not pose any risk to human environment. So there should be preventive strategies, okay, to processes and products to reduce risks to humans and environment. So this, we call this strategy environmental strategy. And this preventive strategy is something we have to look into this continuously. Okay, so continuously. Okay, so apply this clean production practices in holistic or complete way. We call it integrated. Later I will explain this part. This is the very definition I put it here. Okay, so integrated preventive environmental strategy. So we have to understand this. Okay. Once you understand this, I think you are almost done in this module. Okay. So cleaner production. Okay. Good. So under sustainable consumption and production, we have to learn about cleaner production as well. Okay, so cleaner production. So clean word, this relates to environment. That's why cleaner is related to environment. So environmental friendly production. So environment include humans. Okay. So you cannot safeguard only the environment, including humans. You have to safeguard in production. Okay. We will understand this more and more. Don't worry. We have one more definition. Because definitions are definitions. So we have to understand some as well. So out of the definition, you have to get a very good idea about this definition. It is about sustainable development. So the same way we have learned about the sustainable development here. Of course, when it comes to United Nations Environmental Program, UNEP means, okay, UNEP means United Nations Environmental Program. This also defines what sustainable development is. There are 5 key aspects. That's true. So this is one thing. Sustainable development. And see, same like Dalai Lama, we have to think about our future generations. Think about what? Think about them, how they can meet their needs. Yes. So we should not compromise that ability we should not compromise that. So, without compromising future generations' ability and potential to meet their own needs, we can meet our developments. Okay? The development that meets the need of the present. Okay? Needs of the present. Meets the needs of the present. But you should not compromise the future generations' potential and ability to meet their needs as well. Development means we are improving our needs and needs. Okay, so development is to meet the needs and meets the needs. Example, we are having highways. Our city traffics are increasing, so there are solutions. We need to connect the villages with the cities. Those needs highways to meet the needs. Sometimes we have to go for high-rise buildings because with the smaller footprints to have this future spacious needs, we may need to look into that kind of developments. Not to say developments, those are the solutions somehow. The solutions we call development. So you should understand development meets the needs. So they are what we take, the actions and all meet the needs. So you are constructing new schools, roads, highways. Of course, our current airport is operating over its limits. So we may have to have new airports. Ports capacities are to the fullest, so we have to expand the ports. These are to meet the needs. Then our office spaces and all, there can be complexes are coming, new schools, technology faculties, those are the meeting the needs. That is what we call developments. Okay, I hope you can understand what developments are for this. But of course, sometimes, not to say the developments, for means of living, people may start doing business and all. But let's see, sometimes for the business point of view, they do some constructions that damage the ecosystems. Kumuru Godakarna. Yeah. Okay. So lands, low level lands, they are and the wetlands, they use wetlands for the development. So that is not development. How come that way we can meet the needs? So when we do that kind of things, our paddy fields become reduced. Our wetlands to balance the climate and ecosystems getting reduced. Our forests getting reduced lead for global warming and more. So then for future generation, they have issues. So yes, we need to have incomes, true, but doing a hotel complex, damaging a wetland, I don't think that is good because we are already damaging the environment. Okay, Buddha. That's why. So this helps to aware this with some fundamental knowledge. So you should understand what development means. So even if you can support the development drives when you propose the projects, you have to make sure that your environment is taking care. The resources are not being unnecessarily used, means is not exploited. Okay. Those are very important. That's why doing something effective for the country as an enterprise or being an entrepreneur is something more than doing a business. It is something more than doing a business. So you have to have this understanding. Okay, you will find the ways without damaging the nature, your your paddy fields, crop fields, then your forests, preserving all. We can do a lot of things based on technologies. Even you can go for urban farming or whatever. Yeah, still there are ways and means to contribute by becoming an entrepreneur without damaging environment. Okay, so here development that meets the needs. Of course, when it comes to development, even developing the parks, greeneries, and even the nice looking landscape cities, urban areas, villages, all important. We have to have roads for the connectivity, telecommunication facilities, infrastructures, and all. But let me tell you one thing. We can say that we are coming with huge hospitals, and we are proud of, yeah, there are side noises are coming. We are proud of these big hospitals, but in sustainable countries, they have a healthcare system that makes people more healthy, and most of the time the diseases are prevented. So having big hospital doesn't mean you are in the way of development. Imagine having more and more hospital means we are becoming a sick nation. How come? What's this development? More and more jails developing. Yeah. Hospitals. Huh? What for? That's why. When our developments are not in the right directions, when our national directions are not very correct, we may have to have more hospitals, because Sri Lanka is one of the top countries consuming vegetables with higher chemical doses. Yes, rice fields with lot of chemicals. Yes, earth is polluted, water is polluted. And yesterday you have realized that the biggest cause of cancer, kidney and other ailments are not water but air pollutions. That's all. So Putala, you have to have this very basic knowledge and exposure. That's why still today maybe the day 3, but still we are preparing the background. Okay, so you should understand this as well. So for manufacturing, you may be learning many things in environmental management and clean production. But for mechatronics students, this is the only chance for them to get exposed to this knowledge. That's why. So, Putala, you have to understand this. When you understand these things, quite simple. Whenever you look into developments, research, whatever, those will be more innovative, eco-friendly, and of course with much lesser risks for human and environment. So this knowledge, not to say the knowledge, but this brings you a very good view, a very good attitude, and also good morals. Okay, that is very, very important. So let me go into a new slide. Okay, see a comparison. A comparison. There is a little noise behind, so very difficult to control that. Comparison. We are not learning complicated words, but we should learn the necessary things because this is the last semester you are receiving the knowledge. Let's say this is the scope A, the view of His Holiness. This is, let me take this way. Let me take this as scope B. With noisy Butala, you have to bear with the noise. That is really truly bad. But this scope B, and here, let's say this is the scope C. Okay, this is the scope C. And when you put all, His Holiness vision is more wider than B and C both. B has a more scope compared to C. So C, cleaner production, has only little scope compared to B. Compared to A is included B and C. B included C. So let's say C again. C. So this is about preventive environmental strategy to products and process to reduce risks to humans and environment. So this is something like now. Okay, this always now continuous. Okay, so timeline, this is now you are considering. Sustainability, you have to think about the future generations. So, and also about the now. This is now and future. This is scope B. And this is about development. And scope C is about production. Production is only supportive part of developments. Okay. So this is His Holiness. A clean environment is human right. Yes. So I place this as a wider scope. So understand this. And if possible, take something into your heart. Deep in your heart, and this helps you. Okay, Buddha? This helps you. Comparison of scopes A, B, and C. Okay? B and C are definitions. Of course, those definitions are understandable. There is a noise, Buddha. So there's a noise. I don't know how to control this. So those are the scopes of this. So let me bring this rice cooking back again. Yes. So imagine. So this is one of the biggest industries in Sri Lanka. Not to say industry, but resource consuming, domestic cooking and all. Millions of houses. So individually, we have to take the responsibility of this. Does this has a connection with future generation? Of course. Let's say output. If your health, well-being, immunity, and energy to perform, if you are receiving this in the best way, of course, future generation will be yes, hidden facts. But this is the fact. When you take unhealthy foods and all, your genes are, maybe your genes are getting altered, then future generation could be weaker if you take chemicals and all. So rice fails water energy. Okay, so saving water and saving energy helps for future generation and all. And even for fertilizer, we are using a lot of earth material, and we have phosphate deposits. So you need more rice, more fertilizer, more extraction of phosphate and all. So how about the future generation? That's why. So this is something, a very important step you can take, just starting from your home. Okay. So that is one thing. And also, let me take the very first slide again. Yes, this one. Okay. And let me define a term efficiency or productivity. Same like in industries. Efficiency and productivity. So let me take a symbol for that. efficiency. I would say this way. Input in general, if it is energy, it's an input. Minus the losses or the wastes. Even waste losses are waste. Against inputs. So if you consider only one type, yes, input minus waste divided by input. Very simple. Okay. So even water, you can write this the same way. Input minus losses means the useful, okay, or the used or the useful divided by, okay, useful or the productive used by input. So this can be either efficiency or a productivity. Let's say energy. Example, if you think of energy in or used input, let's say using, I'm not putting any unit, let's say 100 something. Energy loss 30. Energy efficiency or productivity is using 100, loss 30 means this much only productive or useful. Okay, productive or useful. Productive or useful. Divided by 100. So that is 70%. So you can say this kind of thing. So productivity, efficiencies, these are very important. Even later we will do for some calculations. Yeah. So even water, you are using this much. Let's say daily cooking, if you may be using, let's say 10 liters of water, energy or water you are using. But using it is what, but useful is another. Okay. So using is one thing, energy using, but useful is something lesser than that. So you are using 10 liters and the useful, the truly useful one is what? The water remains with rice. The extra weight gained by rice is what the water quantity. Useful one, that's all. So the balance, it's in the environment somehow, mostly as waste. Okay, that's why you have to think about this. Okay, think about this. So in industry processes, in industry processes, if you have some lesson learned from rice cooking, lesson learned from rice cooking, yes, applicable to industry processes, yes, you have to evaluate when you are in the industry. You have to evaluate the resources, products, byproducts, wastes, and even emissions. Evaluate this. Okay, I put the evaluate this in terms of consumption or the resource usage. Okay, usage, productivity, efficiency, and human and environmental risks. You have to evaluate this, and then you have to take appropriate measures. Yes. So, and then this is a continuous process. This is a continuous process. Okay, Bhutana? This is a continuous process. Always, because always you should try to improve this. Okay? In the first lesson, I hope you can remember, we put a diagram there. You have the process, you have the inputs, you have the outputs, products, you have the byproducts, and there are wastes and emissions. So today, this nice example, of course connected with industry aspects as well, but also you have learned these three definitions. So think about this. So if you pour some water into a glass to drink, you should consume more. You cannot drink part and you cannot throw out the balance. Okay? Actually, those are morals. If you take rice onto the plate, you have to consume it to the fullest. Anything extra, if you are throwing away, that is not very good. And also, instead of throwing, if you take that extra, means if it's too much for you, you may have issues as well. The responsible consumption. Okay, Bhutala? The responsible consumption. So that is one more thing you came to know about this. Okay, lessons learned. Okay, one is the responsible consumption. And production. That is very important. So, of course, when it comes to production, if the production supply or production is based on demand, means demand driven. Later we will learn about this. Demand driven production. That is very important. Otherwise you are oversupplying to market, or you are supplying lesser to the market. Give me a second. So that's why the demand driven production. Okay, so I will outline some here. We have to learn about supply chains, value chains, demand driven productions, material productivities, greening of processes and products, green technologies, okay, green technologies, and of course eco-friendly products, and eco-sound products. This knowledge we have to gain. And about greenwashing, so these are in the syllabuses. So these are, we will be looking into this in the coming sessions. Okay. So before stopping, let me share with you one document, Puta. I'm going to share it with you now on the screen. This is United Nations Industrial, this is UNIDO, okay? So this is about manual on the development of cleaner production policies, approaches and instruments. So I'm going to email this. So United Nations Industrial Development Organization Cleaner Production Program. So you can learn a lot from this. I have not touched anything of this until now. So you go through this. Okay, you have to go through this. See. Here you can see the definitions as well. See. So many ideas and opinions. See, sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations. UNEP definition is. There can be cleaner production definitions as well. So it is okay, you can go through this. So let me email this to you. Okay, let me email this to you. Also, we will learn about the national policy of cleaner production as well. Of course, there are a lot to learn. So we will see how step by step we can gain this valuable knowledge. Okay, and this not will help you for sure. Even you can share your knowledge with the class as well. Okay, good. So somehow what I can say is you are learning a very important subject. So this knowledge is essential. This improves your even professional maturity. This helps. So this improves your thinking faculties. You may have new ideas as well. So this subject would be quite wonderful. So you have to think about this. This is not a memory-based subject. That's why. Understanding. So you have to have a little bit imaginations as well. Because your industrial exposure may not be to the fullest to feel everything what we are talking. So you have to have a little bit extra effort. And of course, this knowledge helps you for innovations as well. Okay, so you have no subject as module as innovation management to innovations, but this is very important, innovations. And if you are starting a business, this knowledge is, of course, without this knowledge you cannot move forward. This is very essential. Yeah, this is very essential. So try to have this knowledge somehow. And our lecture is only a guideline. Okay, guideline. So we cannot complete this subject in few lectures because this is something like lifelong learning interest, this sustainable consumption and production. This is not about one day lesson. So start from your home and try to practice. Okay. So today, I think a little bit different we have talked. Earlier we talked about little bit about the sustainability. Before that we talk about the sustainable, about the consumption. Today we talk something different, starting from home as a case study. So, go through this Putala and some diagrams are there. So this modeling will be useful for you, this modeling. Even you can write papers, so whatever out of this knowledge. Yeah. Very good. So that's also, let me stop the class today. Any questions before stopping? Thank you for being in the class for this long. So any questions, Putana? Any questions? I think you have to think a lot about this. We cannot say no questions, but at least if you recognize that other than the technologies, there are areas of knowledge that we should take to move forward. That is very important. So that's the point you have to take. Okay, good. So by then you all take care. So let me pause this. I think I will email this document to you. So later I will pass you some assignments, but we will move forward in this way for another 1 to 2 weeks before getting in assignments. Okay. So today I will email this UNIDO document afterwards. So have a look on that. Yes, try to understand. That helps. Okay, Buddha. Thank you very much. Bye then. Bye. Take care, all of you.